Hey guys, so today we're just going to look at a frequent exam question that pops up in coordinate geometry. Okay, first of all, I'm just going to do one of the questions. So this is question 2 of the homework, just to help you through it. I'm going to do question 2 because there's a minus sign in it, so I know that for some of you that creates a little bit of complications. So I'm going to go ahead now and pop in, substitute in the coordinates. So I have y1, which is 5, equals m, which is going to be minus 4 over 3. And then I have x minus 1, so minus by minus gives me plus. So I'm not going to just write it out again, just going to skip that step. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and multiply in that minus 4 over 3 just to make my life a little bit easier. Y minus 5 equals minus 4 over 3x minus 4 over 3. And then as we know from the last day, we take that whole line and we're going to multiply it by 3 because we want to get rid of the fraction. So when I do that, I get 3y minus 15. That just becomes minus 4x. And this just becomes minus 4. Final part, you can write this in two ways. So I can either write it as 3y equals to minus 4x minus 4 plus 15, which gives me 3y equals minus 4x minus 4 plus 15 gives me plus 11, and then divide everything by 3, which will give me, just make that a bit smaller, y equals to minus 4 over 3 x plus 11 over 3, and I can leave it like that. Or the other way I can do it is I can put it as bring over all of this to the far side, and I get 4x plus 3y minus 15 plus 4 equals 0, and then I get 4x plus 3y minus 15 plus 4 gives me minus 11 equals 0. So I can also write it like that. Okay, just one way, it doesn't matter which way you write it as long as it's one of those ones. Okay, so the rest of the answers I'm going to do it out on a sheet of paper, and if you have submitted the assignment, I will have forward them on to you. Okay, so before we start the question, just quickly a little recap on slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. So if we have two lines, A and B, and A is parallel to B, then the m of A, that's the slope of A, will be equal to the m of B. Okay, so remember, when they're parallel lines, they look like this, they never meet. Okay, so that's A, and this one here is B. Then we say if A is perpendicular to B, and that's the little notation here for perpendicular. If A is perpendicular to B, then the slope of A multiply by 1 over the slope of B equals minus 1. Okay, so first of all, the line itself looks like this. Not a very good line. So let's say that's A and that's B. So if the m of A equals 2, then the m of B equals minus 1 over 2. Okay, so you just take the slope, flip it, and change the sign. Similarly, if, let's say for example, the m of A was a third, then the m of B would be, flip it, so that's 3 over 1, which is the same as 3, and change the sign, so minus 3. Okay, so let's take a question like this one here. So m is the line x equals, or x minus 6y plus 12 equals 0. The line n contains this point here and is perpendicular to m, so that's going to tell me about the slope. Okay, find the equation of n. So first of all, we know that to find the equation of a line, we need one point and a slope. Okay, so we need 1 point and a slope. So that's the first thing we need to know. So we can see here already that we have the 1 point, but we just don't have the slope. Now, this line here, if we find the slope of that line, we know already that because this line N is perpendicular to M, well, we just find the slope of this, and then very simply we can just flip it, change the sign, and that gives me the slope of N. So in order to do this, I need to manipulate the line M to look like y equals mx plus c, because then I'll be able to get the slope and then I'll be able to use that to find n. Okay, so let's do that. We have x minus 6y plus 12 equals 0. So I just need, as we can see from here, I just need the y on this side and everything else on this side. So I'm going to take this over here, and I'm also going to take this over here. And I'm going to get minus 6y equals minus x minus 12. Now I just want y by itself, so I'm going to divide everything by minus 6. And I'm going to get y equals, so minus 1, remember there's a 1 there, minus 1 over minus 6 gives me 1 over 6 x, and then minus 12 over minus 6 gives me plus 2. And there is my equation, just in a different format, but more importantly, there is my slope of the line M. The M of M is equal to 1 over 6. Okay, so if the M of M is 1 over 6, then I know that the M, or the slope of N, is going to be minus 6 over 1, which is minus 6. Okay, and then we can use that and this point here to go ahead and find our equation of the line. So y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So I get y, so remember that's x1, y1. So y minus 2 equals minus 6, x minus minus 3, so that's plus 3. And then I get y minus 2 equals minus 6x plus, sorry, not plus, minus 18, because 6 by 3 gives me minus 18. And then I can put that in any format I want. I'm just going to go ahead and bring these over the far side. So I'm going to get 6x plus y minus 2 plus 18 equals 0. Therefore 6x plus y minus 2 plus 18 gives me plus 16 equals 0, and that's my final answer. Okay, so here we have a different question, and it says L is the line 3x minus 2y plus 4 equals to 0. The line K contains this point here, 2 minus 3, and is parallel to L. Find the equation of K. So just pause the video here, have a go at trying to find the slope of L first, and then we're going to use that to find the equation. Okay, let's go ahead and find it then. So I have 3x minus 2y plus 4 equals 0, and I want to make that look like y equals mx plus c. So I'm going to bring this and I'm going to bring this across the line. Okay, so I get minus 2y equals minus 3x minus 4. Divide both sides by minus 2, and I get y equals minus 3 over minus 2, which gives me 3 over 2, because minus over minus, x, and then minus 2 over minus 4 over minus 2 gives me plus 2. So now we can see that I have my slope here. Okay, now remember, if it's parallel, then my slope is going to be equal. Okay, so that means that we know that the m of L equals 3 over 2, but the m of K is also going to equal 3 over 2 because they're parallel. Alright, so go ahead then, y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Pause the video here and have a go at getting the equation of the line for me, please. Okay, so just substitution, y minus, so remember we've x1, y1, so y minus 3, which gives me plus 3 equals, so my slope is 3 over 2, and I have x minus 2, y plus 3 equals 3 over 2x, and 3 over 2 multiplied by minus 2 will give me minus 6 over 2. Okay, again, remember when we have a fraction, we just multiply the whole thing by the bottom of the fraction, which in this case is 2. And then what we have is 2y plus 6 equals 3x, because 3 over 2 by 2 will just give me 3x, minus 6 over 2 multiplied by 2 just gives me minus 6. And then I'm just going to bring these over the far side. So that's going to give me minus 3x plus 2y plus 6. And then I have plus 6 because that minus 6 becomes a plus 6. So I have minus 3x plus 2y plus 12 equals 0. And you remember I said to you before that we never leave a negative at the very beginning of the equation. So just last step there, we say you multiply it by minus 1 the whole line, but another way of saying it is just change all the signs. It's the same thing. So 3x minus 2y minus 12 equals 0. And that's my final answer.